Paymon who?
Mata Heyday.
Paymon Lata Heyday. Who is he?
Never paid taxes in 30 years. Fought the U.S. tax court and won.
See, I believe our rights come from God, not from government. Hello, my friends. Thank you for another Freedom Hour session of Freedom Law School. You joining with me? I'm Paymon Motahede, the president of Freedom Law School, which I created in 1996. In this presentation, I'll cover this common misunderstanding out there. People say that, you are tax protesters at Freedom Law School. You just don't want to pay your fair share of taxes. Well, let's correct that misunderstanding first by saying what is a tax protester, right? Well, here we go. According to Wikipedia, folks, what is a tax protester? Well, let's see. A tax protester is someone who refuses to pay a tax, claiming that tax laws are unconstitutional or otherwise invalid. Well, that is not what we're saying. Okay? Tax protesters are different from tax resistors who refuse to pay taxes as a protest against a government or its policies or moral opposition to taxation in general, not out of a belief that a tax law itself is invalid. Well, we're none of these things. Freedom Law School, we are sticklers for the law. Yes, we want to follow the law. We want the government also to follow the law, just like every American people. So we don't say the law is unconstitutional. The income tax and payroll taxes are completely constitutional. So what are we saying? What I'm saying is the application of it, where it applies, is very limited in the Internal Revenue Code, in the federal tax laws, compared to what they pretend that it applies. It does not apply to people of the 50 states, as I will show you. And again, we'll start with the government's own official legal websites. Yes, we always do that. First, I want to tell you this, folks. I have been under investigation by the IRS since 1994, over 30 years ago. And the IRS has been unable to stop me because I'm not a tax protester. Back then, they were looking at me as a potential fraudulent tax protester, promoter, and after 18 months of investigation, IRS gave up on this baseless criminal investigation.
Wow.
Yep. So, folks, and you can see documentation right here. Click on it as my name on the yellow area, Paymon Motahede, okay? And the highlight area below that, you see received case from manager, MGR manager. Develop a referral of a potential fraudulent TX, tax protester, promoter, okay? That's what that is. Anyhow, you can see it's on our victories page in a little bit more visible in step 4 of our 7 steps to free yourself of IRS deception, fear, robbery, and slavery. But let's get back to the topic at hand, folks, okay? This 1040 form, folks, okay? I agree with the instructions on the 1040 form that the IRS puts together for you on irs.gov. The instructions are completely correct. What does it say about filing requirements? These rules apply to all U.S. citizens regardless of where they live and resident aliens. Yes. But who are they? U.S. citizens. And more importantly, U.S. What land are they speaking about? Well, let's go now again to the Internal Revenue Code, folks. This is the book. Online, we go look at this thing. Internal Revenue Code. The federal tax laws, over 10,000 pages of tissue thin, tiny fonts, minutiae to get you confused. The definitions that matter are at the end, not the beginning. They hid it in plain sight so you don't find it by putting it at the end, my friends. So everybody knows that Title 26, the Internal Revenue Code, federal tax laws. Here we have in subtitle A, income taxes, okay, and chapter 1, normal taxes and surcharge taxes, subchapter A, determination of tax liability, and part 1, tax on individuals. Here it is, section 1, imposes a tax. Well, to get a better reading of this, we're going to go to the U.S. Treasury Regulations, CFR, Code of Federal Regulations. And here, Part 1.1-1, Income Tax on Individuals, it tells us that Section 1 of the Internal Revenue Code imposes an income tax on income of every individual who's a citizen or resident of the United States. And I wholeheartedly agree. But what is United States? As defined, definitions are everything, okay? So we're going to come and determine what the United States is. Later, we'll come back to the second part that says, and to the extent provided by Section 871B or 877B on the income of a non-resident alien individual. So, here we go. We're going to go again in Title 26, Internal Revenue Code, Section 7701, definitions. Folks, this is from uscode.house.gov, that U.S. House of Representatives' own official source of laws that lawyers put together for everybody out there to follow, you and me and the judges and lawyers, okay? So you see here, under Section 7701, down go to A9, and first they say what? They say when used in this title. Again, what title? Title 26, the Internal Revenue Code. This is the title book that they're referring to, federal tax laws. So here they define many things that do not need any defining at all. Here we go down now to A9 and 10, United States and state. United States, when used in the geographical sense, includes only the states and the District of Columbia. Notice none of the 50 states are listed, but the District of Columbia is listed. We go down to states, and it says states shall be construed to include the District of Columbia. Do not mention any of the 50 states. All there is DC plus DC. Yeah, DC plus DC adds up to DC. And you're saying, Paymon, of course everybody knows the 50 states are implied to be within the United States or state, right? Wrong. I'll show you what the Supreme Court tells us, okay? Supreme Court tells in its case of Stenberg versus Carhart, a year 2000 case about legal definitions. When a statute or law includes an explicit definition, like what you just saw, we must follow that definition even if it varies from that term's ordinary meaning. Yep. What you and I think what the term means doesn't matter. It's what the lawmakers say. Their definition is the what that we got to go by. And they continue that it is axiomatic, which is self-evident, obvious, that the statutory definition of the term excludes unstated meanings of that term. Something that's not there, it's not there. You cannot assume that is there. Okay? So people say, but Paymon, this is not a tax case. Give me a tax case that talks about definitions where they matter in tax law. Well, here we go. A tax case called Gould v. Gould. In 1917, unanimous 9-0 U.S. Supreme Court tax case. And in relevant part, it tells us that in the interpretation or understanding of statutes, laws, levying or imposing taxes. So in understanding laws and imposed taxes, it is the established rule, well known, folks, not to extend their provisions of tax laws by implication or implying or assuming beyond the clear import of the language used, or to enlarge their operation of tax laws so as to embrace or include matters not specifically pointed out. If it's not specifically pointed out, listed in the language of law, it's not there. They cannot make that point any more clear than that, folks. If it's not listed in the definition, it's not there. Look at it for yourself once again. And then the Supreme Court tells us one more important piece of information. In case of doubt, the tax laws, are construed, interpreted, or understood most strongly against the government's power to tax and in favor of the citizen not being taxed. Any doubt goes strongly against the government. Okay? So, any doubt you have should be gone. But I'll give you one more reason clearly why these definitions do matter. Look at this, folks. Again, from Title 26, Internal Revenue Code, the federal tax laws. We're going to go to subchapter A, tax on petroleum or oil. Here, Section 4612 has definition and special rules. It has, for the purpose of this specific subchapter A, tax on petroleum, has these very special definitions for many terms, including the term United States. Means, look at that, the 50 states. Oh my God, they did not forget about the 50 states. They did not need to imply it. It's there clearly, specifically stated. And DC, and a bunch of U.S. territories. And on top of that, they had continental shelf areas and even foreign trade zones. So, folks, which definition we got to go by? We assume this, assume that? No, you got to go by exactly what's defined, and no more. Any doubt goes against the government's power to tax and in favor of you not being taxed, my friends. Okay, so with that now, let's go back to Code of Federal Regulation 1.1-1. It's very clear that United States people that got to pay income tax are D.C. citizens. Yes, D.C. people that got to pay income tax. The 1040 form, folks, that I've shown you, folks, this form is a D.C. individual income tax, not the 50 states individual income taxes. Got that? So, well, let's go again, continue to the other part about Code of Federal Regulation 1.1-1. The last part talks about, to the extent provided by Section 871B or 877B, on the income of a non-resident alien individual. Okay. Before we get to that, let's find out what is a non-resident alien individual. Okay, well, let's look at this. Okay, because Section 87701B has a definition. Look at that. Of resident alien and non-resident alien. Okay. Before we get to that, though, okay, let me talk about something else. Okay. And that is, America is not a country. We are 50 countries plus one. That's right. So, see, in 1776, folks, we had 13 independent countries that separated from Kingdom of England. They were colonies, became countries or states. In 1789, the states created an agent headquartered in Washington, D.C., to be known as the U.S. government. And they delegated 18 specific common functions to this agent, the U.S. government. These powers included common defense, common currency, immigration rules, common commerce between states and foreign countries, and so forth. Okay? And all of the powers and functions the states kept for themselves. What they did, though, these 13 states gave the federal government this land, which became to be known later on as the District of Columbia. Yes, Washington, D.C. is 10 miles given by Virginia, as well as Maryland, a bunch of swampland, to the federal government to be completely independent. So, folks, every state in America is a country. I'm from country of Florida, okay? And you are from a different country, like Texas or California or Nevada. They're all countries within this union that we have. And Washington, D.C. is another country out there. So I'm from Florida. That's my country. Then the United States, I'm a part of the union as well. So I'm a non-resident alien to Texas because I don't reside in Texas, and I'm alien to Texas or California or all the four United States or Washington, D.C., or France or Russia or Egypt because I don't reside there, and I'm alien to them. Got it? So with that understanding, folks, of how it works, you should know that in the Constitution, the federal government, Congress, was given power to exercise exclusive legislation or lawmaking power in all cases whatsoever over the District of Columbia that it became to be known as the seat of the U.S. government. Okay? And they exercise like authority over all other places, okay, that the federal government purchased, by the consent of legislature of the states, okay, like forts and military dockyards and stuff like that. So the federal government was given the D.C. to be completely independent. So that's its own country. It's its own laws. Just like every state in America has its own marriage laws, traffic laws, okay, murder laws, stealing laws. They're different. Every state has a legislature, governor, executive branch, and Supreme Court. Got it? France, Germany, Italy are in European Union countries in the Union. America, Texas, Florida, California are also countries within this 50 states plus one union. So now that we go with this 1.1-1, the non-resident alien, we're going to come back to who that person is according to the law. And that person, we go down and see, here we go, is an individual, is a non-resident alien if such individual is neither a citizen of the United States, which means D.C., not either citizen of D.C. nor resident of D.C. See, folks? You got to replace the right words. It's a code on purpose. It's on purpose they've done this thing. You have to have the code to decode the CIA code book. All right? So as long as you're not from D.C., you're neither a citizen or resident of D.C., you are a non-resident alien, which makes anybody from Germany, France, Italy, California, Florida, Texas, Alabama, New York will all non-resident alien with respect to Washington, D.C., otherwise known as United States in the Internal Revenue Code, the federal tax laws. This is primarily for Washington, D.C., folks, right? You saw that. Although there's some exceptions in there as they sometimes provide for you. Now, we're going to go down to 871 momentarily. We're going to go down to B, okay? 871B, here it is, income connected with United States or Washington, D.C. Business graduate rate of tax. Look at what the law says. A non-resident alien individual, that means someone not from D.C., like from one of the 50 states, right? Okay, engaged in trade or business. Oh, we got to cover that, trade or business. Well, trade or business, folks, has its own unique definition. We're going to go down to 7701 one more time. We have to scroll down again. Look, we will go down to 26, and you'll be surprised. Look at that, 826. Trade or business includes the performance of the functions of a public office.
Huh?
That's right. An FBI agent, a congressman, federal judge, the president of the United States. These guys are all performing functions of public office. They're in trade or business. Yeah, nothing else is listed in there. It's not there. So here we go, back to this amazing lies and deception they tricked us into believing, right? So now with that understanding of also those definitions, folks, we're going to come back here and to section 871. So someone not from D.C. engaged in performance of function of federal public office within D.C. So you got to read it as what it means, the code. During a taxable year shall be taxable as provided in section 1, which we talked about before, or 55 on his taxable income, which is effectively connected with a conduct of a performance of function of public office within D.C. someone from Virginia or Maryland, for example, who travels to Washington, D.C., works there, that person got to pay income tax. Now, someone who's does federal work and let's say an FBI Los Angeles office or Dallas FBI office, they don't have to pay income taxes because their work is not within D.C., is it? So that's how the law is written, folks. We got to follow the law as written. So what we say is that tax only applies to who? Citizens and residents of Washington, D.C., and federal workers and contractors who do their work in Washington, D.C. That's what the law says. The income tax law is completely constitutional. It is not illegal. It just does not apply to the people of the 50 states as it lied to us and deceived us to believe.
Wow.
You see, folks, it is said that people suffer for lack of knowledge. Yes, for ignorance. And the solution is also, has been said, is what? Seek the truth, and the truth shall set you free. What's the key word? You must seek the truth. And where do you find the truth? On Freedom Law School. So go to the website of Freedom Law School, freedomlawschool.org, to find the truth to free yourself, my friends, okay? So here we go, freedomlawschool.org, and here you can take 7 steps to regain your power and freedom, and you will never again have to voluntarily pay the Washington, D.C. swamp legally and safely, and with a guarantee if you choose. There's a 7 steps, right? To start 7 steps to free yourself of income tax slavery with these 7 steps, okay? So the step 1 is follow the law. You just saw the law right now. I gave it to you the summary, but there's more videos on the topic of the law to further help you understand everything more fully. The 9-minute video, which you saw in here, part of it anyhow, is the start of that. There's a few more here for you to check out that fully understand the law. And then step 2 is you got to stop filing income tax forms. Yes, you got to stop putting the rope around your neck by signing those 1040 forms under oath. You swear it's all true, correct, and complete. The form that this other guy, yes, this accountant, CPA, tax attorney, TurboTax, HR on Block, prepared for you. But when I put somebody in prison for tax evasion, they don't put them in prison. They put you in prison for the form that he filled out and charged you money for it. Isn't that a scam or what? So you got to stop doing that. You know, you got to stop saying under oath that you owe the IRS money and allow us to audit you, empty your bank account, steal your property, and put you in prison. Step 3, folks, is you got to realize the IRS is over 99% bluff. Yep, the Wizard of Oz is a major media making IRS a big deal. They are not. They got you scared by lies, by satanic deception, folks. Free yourself of Wizard of Oz, okay? The major media corrupt. IRS is not this powerful being they pretend that it is. You've been programmed by the corrupt major media, false charismatic preachers, okay, that you got to pay your taxes, be afraid of the IRS, you file early, you adore the government, they're wonderful guys, FBI, CIA, DOJ, they're all there to protect you, all the lies. Okay, you got to get that stuff out of your head and realize they are your enemies. Your enemies have taken over the federal government, and you have no constitutional, ethical, legal, or moral duty to pay $1 of federal income tax, payroll tax, corporate tax, or estate gun manufacturing, or gambling tax even, to the crooks in Washington, D.C. We can defund the federal government by way over 9% and be completely safe. All the roads, schools, sheriff, police, court system, firefighters, all these things that we come to need are paid by local property sales and other taxes and gas at the pump. Not federal taxes, folks. Why are we giving money to these criminals, right? So after step 3, you realize that you are powerful. They are weak, and we outnumber them 10 million to 1. you can take courage from our victories that, folks, we have beaten the IRS, and so can you. The myth of the IRS is exposed, and you see they can be easily beat if you have that same knowledge like Freedom Law School and our students have. Hopefully you join us pretty soon. Okay? Folks, the fact is no student of Freedom Law School has ever gone to prison for federal taxes, nor had the paycheck or bank account levied or home or business seized by the IRS. That's right, for over 20 years, 22 plus years. That's been our record of winning over the IRS, okay? And then, folks, step 5, question authority. Yep, write your Congress members, okay? And file and pay income taxes only if your congressman can show you the law that requires you to file and pay income taxes. They can't. That's right. You will not go to prison because you follow the law. You don't have to pay tribute to the beast, worship or be afraid of the beast. It's really Satan. It's really IRS. It rhymes, doesn't it? Maybe there's some connection there. You don't have to do that, folks. You know that not one congressman ever has refuted anything we said about income tax. We've written to congressmen many times saying, look, here's a law. If I'm right, stop the crooks in IRS and DOJ from enforcing this law to people that don't owe it the tax. Or if I'm wrong, let me know, and I will humbly pay my fair share of taxes. And they've never done that. Not one congressman has ever shown us a law that we're wrong, that we owe the federal income taxes that in this book it talks about. Okay? Now, this is all free. You can do it for yourself. If you have the vision and the courage and the love of truth of the America's founding fathers, want to stand up to something, you know, mount to something, folks. Okay? You want to be something great and special like this great man? Guess what? You have the option, okay, so you can enjoy our 100% guarantee when you legally stop filing and paying income taxes. Yep. Join the Restore Freedom Plan, and as long as you're a member of the Restore Freedom Plan, Freedom Law School will prevent IRS from levying your money, or Freedom Law School will reimburse you, and you will not go to prison either, as that's shown you above. And folks, last but not least, do us a favor, folks. Be a modern-day Paul Revere. Yes, carry the light of the truth, the law, to the American people. Let's free and build up a families in America once again. Tell them about Freedom Law School, folks. Just do that, and we'll be happy to pay you for spreading the word. Remember, I know you're too busy to sit down and watch the videos. So, get your smartphone in your car. As you drive around, listen to it a couple times. You got a call? Take the call if you have to. Fine. Replay the video when the call's done. Play it on your way to work, shopping, wherever you do errands. Then when you go home or work for lunch or dinner, now you put your smartphone or maybe a personal computer to watch it. You see, oh wow, these things are true, not just empty talk. It's government's own official, legal websites and reports we rely upon. So with that, folks, I'm going to tell you this. I love every one of you. I want every one of you to be free. Really. I want to live and let live and let love world just like you do. But I cannot do it for you. You got to do it for you. And to do that, you have to choose to, in your car, don't waste time listening to music or entertainment, some fun thing. Arm yourself, empower yourself, drive around, listen to our videos, folks, and then you're going to see, wow, I know Kung Fu of law, just like Neo does in the movie Matrix. I know Kung Fu. Remember that scene? Yes, you can be just like that. And text your friends about it. Family members, check this out, folks. Unbelievable, believable. On your drive to and from work, watch this video. That's what you gotta do. Text them on your social media, post them, email them to your friends, and give them our brochures. We mail you our Restore Freedom brochures, folks, at no charge. Yes, give it to everybody you know, okay? Tell them the truth that 98% of Americans are not required to file income tax. Yes, it's there. You put your name and number there, or we give you a private number to you, and you'll get paid. Yes, get paid good money for referring other people to be free to Freedom Law School. So with that, I give you my love. I invite you folks, seek the truth at freedomlawschool.org, and you'll be free.